Good morning, dear students. We're going to begin with the lesson Sports and History, that is lesson number 7 from our history portion. Okay, now this is like the most easiest, simplest lesson from the entire portion. So it'll be very easy for you. All you have to do is pay attention and read through the lesson once more. Okay, so I hope all of you will have your textbooks open, page number 46. Now, sports plays a very important role in all your lives, yes or no? You'll all like to play different varieties of sports. We're going to see how sports and history are related or interlinked. Introduction. Sports combine entertainment and physical exercise. So it entertains us as well as it keeps us physically active. To play is a natural human instinct. Hence, the history of sports begins with the origin of mankind. Various games have been played since the beginning of civilization. Hunting was indeed a way of obtaining food for the ancient people, but it was also looked upon as a game and entertainment. So, right from the ancient times, ancient man, all right, they used to go in groups in hunt of maybe an animal like a boar, okay, and they used to not only hunt as a way of obtaining food, but it was also looked upon as a game, as a way of entertaining themselves. We have seen a lot of these cave paintings where they show a group of people going hunting. All right, so not only was it a way of entertaining themselves but also a way of obtaining food. And of course, there have been various types of games right from the beginning of civilization. The ancient Indian literature and epics mention various games such as games of dice, that is Duyut, wrestling, horse and chariot races, and chess. Now, here, do you know? Here, they've given you a number of training centers for wrestling and other sports. You can just go through that on your own. All of you all are aware of the Olympics. Okay, it is the Greeks who started this and standardized the rules of sports and organized them systematically. Standardized to make the rules same everywhere. They started various sports competitions of discus throw, horse and chariot races, you have wrestling and boxing, etc. The ancient event of Olympic competitions used to be held at Olympia, the ancient Greek city. To be able to participate in Olympics and be a winner is supposed to be a great honor for sports persons. Till today, the Olympics holds a very high ranking if you are an athlete or if you are a sports personality. All right, to play at the Olympics and to win there is of great honor. Now, why do you think sports are important? Okay, to play games is very important for us. It enables us to overcome sufferings and worries. Games helps us to relax and refresh our minds. Games which involve a lot of physical activities provide good exercise as well. So not only are you getting entertained, not only does it relax you, but at the same time it keeps you healthy, it keeps you fit. Games help in building a tenacious and strong body, tenacious, firm and fit. Playing games also helps us in developing courage, determination, and sportsmanship. So, along with playing various games, your personality is also developing at the same time. You have courage to go and face your opponent, determination to win, sportsmanship to cooperate with one another. Games needing collective participation means when you're playing in a group, it helps us to develop a sense of cooperation and team spirit. It also helps in developing leadership. All of you all have played so many games as a team, yes or no, in schools as well. So it becomes easier to develop these various qualities in you, and your personality is also developed. Types of sports, there are two types: indoors and outdoor games. Indoor games are played within a closed environment, and a number of them are played by sitting in one place, therefore they are called indoor. They include chess, card games, games played with gamesmen and dice, carom, etc. The game, known by various names as Kachka Vadya or Chaukabhara or as Indian Ludo, is very popular among Indians. The game known as Sagargote, played with a bunch of seeds or stones, is usually played by girls. This is also known as There is another game known as Batukali, that is to play house, which is usually played by girls. However, all the members in the family can also participate in it, especially in the mock wedding of a girl doll and a boy doll. It is an occasion of family celebration. So, here there's nothing too difficult for you to understand. Indoor games are how certain games which are played within a closed environment. Okay, all of you like to play various games like chess, like carom, like dice. Okay, ludo also is a very entertaining game. Girls, of course, from 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 childhood, they begin to play house, and then they have mock weddings where you just have fake weddings between two dolls. You come to outdoor games. Outdoor games can be categorized into two types. You have Indian sports and you have international sports. Indian sports, of course, all of you are very well familiar with Indian games like Langdi, Kabaddi, Atya Patya, Kho. All right. Now, here they've given you a small little um, daily schedule of Rani Lakshmi Bai, the queen, all right, where she used to spend hours exercising on the Malakam and then also have horse rides and elephant rides where she would eat healthy so that she could enhance her physical strength. All right, so just read through that, all of you. Indian games like marbles, lagori, viti dandu, and gilli danda, bhingri, bovare, Fugidi, Jimma are quite popular. All of you are well aware of these various games. Now we have international games which include badminton, you have table tennis, hockey, cricket, football, golf, polo. So you have other countries also that have kind of popularized various different kinds of sports. Among outdoor sports, running races are popular all over the world. Sprints or short distance running races are usually arranged for 100 and 200 meters. There are also middle distance and long distance races. Marathon, please underline, is a long distance running race. Other types of races are hurdles and relay race. There's not much to explain over here because they've only given you the names of various different outdoor sports and also various international sports, Indian sports. So please keep underlining all these various names. You already are aware of most of these games. We have it during our sports day as well. 100 meters, 200 meters running race. Hurdles is when you have an obstacle race. Short put, discus throw, long jump, high jump, water sports like swimming competitions, water polo, rowing, and sports that combine physical activities and acrobatics like malakam, rope malakam, you have gymnastics, etc., are all included in outdoor sports based on physical skills. So, you know what are indoor sports, and you should be able to identify what are outdoor sports. They've given you a picture here of malakam. Okay. Adventurous games. Now, what do you mean by adventurous games? Ice skating, skiing, ice hockey are popular games that require balancing skills. Okay, so you need to be able to balance yourself very well. On ice skating, you have those skating shoes with a very thin, like blade like edge, which you have to balance yourself on. So, you need to have really good balance in order to perform these various physical activities. There are many other adventurous games which include rock climbing, gliding, auto racing, cars, and motorbikes. I'm sure all of you have seen this on various sports channels. Sports competitions of various types is a worldwide phenomenon. Sports competitions like the Olympics, Asian Games, also known as Asiad, the Paralympics or Special Olympics for disabled people, the Cricket World Cup, which is very, very famous, are organized on regular basis. Also, international competitions for many other sports like hockey, wrestling, chess are organized on a grand scale. In India, hockey and cricket are very popular as hockey is our national game, all right, as Although it's not as popular as cricket, but these are the two main games that India really is fond of and wants to play, and you have a lot of people that view these matches as well. Competitions of all these games are organized at local, city, taluka, district, state, national, and international levels. So many times we have seen many of our students who go and play at district level, at national level, all right. So we know that these are the various competitions held at these various levels. Sportspersons who perform well in national and international competitions also have good career prospects. So, if you're really good, and if someone who has maybe a sports backing realizes or notices that you have good potential in a particular sport, they can pick you to play national and international competitions as well. This is for you to read. Do you know Major Dhyan Chand, an expert player of hockey, was also the captain of the Indian hockey team. He won the gold medal in the Berlin Olympics. All right, and I want you to read how, because his birthday, 29th of August, is also celebrated as National Sports Day in India. He is also known as the Wizard of Hockey and was honored with the Padma Bhushan Award in 1956. Globalization of sports. What do you mean by globalization? Where all countries come together with the common liking for sports. The field of sports in the 20th and 21st century was naturally influenced by the process of globalization. The international matches of various sports like cricket, football, lawn tennis can be watched on television in any corner of the world. Although many a times our country may not participate in various sports, okay, but we like to watch those various matches because there is a liking for it. So citizens of non-participant countries can also enjoy these matches. For instance, the World Cup winning match played by Indian cricketers was watched by cricket fans all over the world. So it does not mean that just because your country doesn't participate, you don't watch that match. All right, if you have a liking towards that particular sport, you will watch that match, and it's so much more easier because of the advantage of mass media. All right, you can watch your favorite matches on TV from any corner of the world. Sports fans scattered all over the world have significantly affected the entire structure of sports economy. Nowadays, we see a lot of sports bars that have opened up, pubs which view various matches. All right, and people would rather go and watch it in a in a club so that they have other people to cheer along with them. Fans watch the matches for entertainment. Industrial and commercial companies look at it as a good opportunity to advertise their wear. Now, I'm sure you'll have seen many of these ads where you have cricketers, you have other famous sports personalities which come and advertise, okay, or they are, they are like they come and they show certain watches, or you have these engine oils, okay, and they would come and be part of that advertising company. So this is the time where companies, commercial companies, you have industrial companies that take advantage of this time where people watch these matches, and you have small little advertisements in between, all right, which will help to improve their sales. Retired sportsmen also have an opportunity to participate as commentators. So, if you're retired, it doesn't mean that you cut yourself off completely from that sport. You can still be a part of that sport as a commentator. Game materials and toys. The means and equipment for the entertainment and education of children are called as toys. Clay toys have been found in archaeological excavations. These toys were fashioned either by hand or by using molds, either made by hand or by using a mold. Dolls are mentioned in the ancient Indian literature. A Sanskrit play by Shudraka is named as Mricha Katika. It means clay art. So, in this, he has mentioned various dolls that were being made. All right, so it shows the art that the Indians had in order to make clay into various shapes. I want you to read that small little box that is there. It talks about how dolls, flying dolls, and how some used to dance and make sounds. Is just for your information. In India, there are regional traditions of making dolls. The wooden dolls made in Maharashtra were known as thaki. Please underline that. That usually comes as an objective type of question. Toys and history. Toys can throw light on history and technological development. We can also get a glimpse of religious and cultural traditions through them. As a part of traditional Diwali celebrations in Maharashtra, model forts are made. I'm sure all of you all are aware of this. Clay images of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and his soldiers, and also people and animals are placed on these model forts. This has become such a craze nowadays that they have big competitions held in the societies or in a particular area where societies will have competitions with one another where they make these forts, all right, where you have Shivaji Maharaj, his people, you have crops growing on one end, you have people that are shown, all right, and this tradition keeps the memory alive of the important role of forts in the history of Maharashtra. An ivory doll made by Indian craftsmen was found in the excavation of Pompeii, an ancient city in Italy. So we see that Indian dolls were found in an Italian city, which tells us that it has, we had trade relations. So maybe they bought these various dolls from us. Pompeii was a city that was completely covered with ash from a volcanic eruption. It is dated to the 1st century CE. This artifact shows light on the Indo Roman uh, trade relations. Thus, toys found in archaeological excavations can tell us about cultural contacts between nations in ancient times. So, it tells us that we had trade relations between these countries. Sports literature and movies on sports. This is super easy for you all to understand, okay, because I'm sure all of you all have already seen these various movies. Publishing of books and encyclopedias of sports is a newly developed enterprise. The history of Malakhamb has been recently published. There is an encyclopedia on the subject of exercise. Some years ago, there was a sports magazine named Shatkar. There is ample literature available in English on sports. Some television channels are devoted exclusively to sports. I'm sure all of you are aware of 10 Sports, you have ESPN, you have Star Sports. All these are only channels which view sports matches. Okay. Recently, some movies on sports and biographies of players have been released in various languages. For instance, the films Mary Kom and Dangal. I'm sure all of you all have seen this. Alright, it speaks about the Indian female boxer and also the Fogart sisters, who were the first Indian female wrestlers to win gold medals at various international competitions. All right. The process of making a movie, when you're making a movie based on, the life of a person, or you're trying to describe a sport or whatever it might be, you need an expert, all right, who has deep study of that particular period. So you need someone who knows the story, you need someone who knows the language, the style of dressing, the social life of that period, etc. Students of history who are well trained, okay, they can do this kind of research, and knowledge of the history of sports is also essential for writing articles in various publications, newspapers, sports magazines. So if you have good knowledge of sports, if you have good knowledge about the history of that particular sport, then it is easier for you to take up a job maybe as a sports editor, or maybe as to write articles based on that particular sport or that particular player. Sports and professional opportunities. Now, we've seen what kind of different sports there are. Games, you have indoor, outdoor, international, Indian. All right, it speaks about how sports and history are well connected. How can sports benefit students of history while taking up a professional opportunity or professional career? Although sports and history appear to be distant as subjects, we don't see much of a connection. There is a close tie between them. Alright? Students of history can find many opportunities in the field of sports journalism. One needs to resort to history in order to write articles, reviews about sports events like the Olympics or the Asiad or national and international matches. So, if you have good knowledge of the study of history of sports, then you can be a journalist who writes various reviews and articles based on sports events. It can be national as well as international. Expert commentators are in demand during sports matches. If you know the rules of a particular game, then you can be a commentator. You can speak more about the game, you can speak more about the players, you can speak more about the history of what took place in this sports. An expert commentator needs to have good knowledge of, please underline this, of the history, the statistics, previous records, eminent players, historical and anecdotes, etc., related to the concerned game. Knowledge of history is useful for them. Matches of various sports like cricket, football, kabaddi, chess are shown live on television on various channels. We like to watch the World Cup live, yes or no? So it is viewed or aired on TV for the fans to watch. The role of professionals who track and keep record of these telecasts from various channels has become very important now. I've told you there are various channels which are dedicated only to show sports matches. All right, so they keep a record, they record the entire match and they keep like storage of it so that later on you can view it again to the audience. The sports channel continue telecasting round the clock continuously. There are many professional opportunities available in this field where you can work for a channel, a sports channel. Referees. Now, who's a referee? A person who watches the match carefully to make sure that the rules of the game are being followed. They are an essential factor to sports matches. Trained referees are required to pass qualifying examinations. You can't just be a referee, okay? You have to go through a particular process where you have to give an examination to qualify as a referee. Qualified referees can work at district, state, national, and international levels. Government and private sectors are trying to promote sports. There are scholarships offered to sports persons. I'm sure all of you all already know this. So, if you're really good at a sport, you can receive a scholarship, and there are reserved seats for them in the government and private establishments. Now, there's a small little box given to you right at the end of the lesson. Bal J. Pandit was the first Indian cricketer to pioneer to start it all. People used to listen very eagerly to his broadcast from Akashvani. Akashvani is a radio station. His well studied commentaries were full of information about the history of the playground, the career history of the players, anecdotes of the game. Anecdotes, small short stories about the game and established records of the game. His commentaries used to be entertaining because of these historical details. So people used to really look forward to listening from him because he had so much of history that he could share about the player, about the ground. So usually before any match also starts, you see a lot of people talking about how the ground is, whether it's a good pitch, and also talking about the history of the players. So if you have this previous knowledge, it is so much more beneficial when you are already or interested to join the field. So with this class we come to the end of our lesson. It's the most easiest chapter in your history portion. Okay, so go through the lesson once more, and for your classwork books, question number 1A and B can be done in the textbook itself. Question 2, 3, 4, 5 have to be done in the classwork books. I hope all of y'all are writing down these question answers. It's going to be beneficial for y'all. So please make sure that you complete your notes. Alright. And with that, we come to the end. Thank you, class. God bless you all and have a wonderful day.